Hello, and welcome to District Dialogues. I am Marvin Arrington Jr., Fulton County Commissioner, representing District 5. District 5 encompasses parts of the new city of South Fulton, southwest and southeast Atlanta, East Point, and parts of Union City and College Park. Some of the great landmarks in District 5 include Zoo Atlanta, the former Fort McPherson, which is now home to Tyler Perry's new movie studio, the Porsche headquarters, the Camp Creek Marketplace, and my favorite, the Wolf Creek Amphitheater. During this show, I hope to share information about organizations, initiatives, and resources in Fulton County and in District 5 for areas that I champion. So let's get straight to it. I am proud to serve as a member of the Justice and Public Safety Committee for the National Association of Counties, also known as NACO. In our Justice and Public Safety segment, we like to share information from our partners that provide resources and information about justice and public safety in Fulton County. Please meet Fonnie Willis, former Fulton County Deputy District Attorney. Welcome to the show, Ms. Willis.
Happy to be here today, Commissioner Arrington.
So you've been a long-time legal advocate in Fulton County, but people may not know about your role as a prosecutor in the district attorney's office. So share with us about that.
Well, I recently resigned. February 28th was my last day, but I had served as a district attorney for 16 years, 4 months, and 4 days, but who was counting? In my role as district attorney, I was the deputy over the trial division, which is the largest division of not just the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, but any district attorney's office in the Southeast. What that division did was prosecute the cases that were your armed robberies, your aggravated assaults, your burglaries, your major drug traffickings, and so I had 25 lawyers that reported to me that handled those cases. I had a long history prior to taking that role of trying some very high-profile cases and some very serious homicides, and so my role was to train the young lawyers coming up and make sure that they were prepared and ready to go to trial on those cases where victims were really harmed in our community.
So we go back to Emory Law School, class of 96.
We do.
But you've been around the legal profession your entire life.
It is true. The thing that you and I have in common is both of our fathers were lawyers. Your father did rise to the level of judge. My father was a trial attorney until he says he's retired now, but I'm not sure lawyers ever retire. And so my childhood, I was raised by my father, who was, like I said, a attorney, and he would often take me to court with him because when you're a child, you go to work with your parent, and for my father, the courtroom was his work environment. And so for a very long time, I have been around the legal profession. At 7, I was putting his files together, going to court with him. There was a time where I would even, go and sit on the judge's lap while they handled court, and he'd ask me, what are we going to do with the next defendant? And so this is just my love in my life. I wouldn't do anything else other than practice law.
You've had some strong views about diversity in the judicial process and the justice system, making sure that different socioeconomic backgrounds are represented. Tell us about how you feel about diversity in the judicial system.
Well, I think it's very important. Fulton County, I always tell people it's the best county. It's the county where I live in. It's not only where I have worked for the last 22 years, but it's the county where I live. And what I like to tell people is we are the #1 county. And I truly believe that, which was why I was so proud to represent it as a DA. We're the #1 county, and then we're the richest county. We have so many resources. But the resources are not just financial. They are a diversity and a wealth of different kinds of people from different cultures. And the judicial system is one of the places where the people should be represented. And so I think there should be diversity with the judges on the bench. There should be diversity with the court staff and the clerk's office and everyone who comes before it, because certainly the community we represent is going to be diverse, and they should see that when they come to the court.
In your time as a district attorney, I'm sure you worked on several cases where there were victims. But I've been hearing a lot lately about victimless crimes. Is there a such thing as a victimless crime?
I don't think there's a such thing as a victimless crime. I think that there are crimes where the only person that may be being hurt is the defendant himself who is being charged. Those crimes to me would be the crimes of where someone is using drugs. Maybe that there's no one being bashed in the head at that point for the fact that this person needs the drugs, but they're doing damage to their body, which is also ultimately going to be a cost on society because they're not going to be in their right mind. Oftentimes we find that people do things while on substances that they wouldn't do at other times. I don't think that there are victimless crimes, but there are certainly crimes that I was more concerned with as a district attorney and more concerned with as a citizen than others. Burglaries I think are terrible. They turn into home evasions, and unfortunately they turn into murders. So there are levels to crimes, but I don't think there's a victimless crimes per se.
Because the society as a whole could be the victim.
Exactly. I think society as a whole, and I think we have to be our brother's keeper. I think we have to care about what's going on. We don't want to see people that are abusing drugs and abusing themselves and not going on to prosper themselves. We want to see all of us advance, and we know when people have that going on in their life, they don't advance much.
Now, you spent some time not only prosecuting cases, but serving as a general attorney prior to entering your time in the DA's office. Tell us about that.
Actually, it's funny that I even ever became a DA. That was not the path I saw for my career. My father had been a sole practitioner. At some point, he had a partner in his law office. And so that's what I thought I would do. And when I got out of law school, that's exactly what I did. I went to a small law firm over on Cleveland Avenue. It was 5 lawyers. And I say we did everything. We did family law. We represented people that were charged with crimes. We represented people in contractual disputes. We literally did everything. I then went on to my own practice where I'd had a huge family law practice and juvenile, and I continued to represent people charged with crimes. And so it wasn't until about year 5 in my career that I started to work as a prosecutor.
So Fulton County has taken a lot of steps over the last 3 or 4 years in order to improve its judicial system. Tell us some of the things that are working well and some of those that may need a little more work.
I think we have a lot of things working here in the judicial system in Fulton County. One of the #1 programs I would say is actually a program that the district attorney started, and I think it's important for citizens to know, and it's called Court Watch. And it is a program where people volunteer and they come in and they watch what's going on in the judicial system. I think that that's excellent for a few reasons. One, it shows that the community is invested in the community. Two, as a prosecutor and as a citizen, things run differently when people are there watching and paying attention. And so people complain about these people getting back into their neighborhoods and repeat offenders. That doesn't happen as much when you have the community right there watching. The other program, so I think that's a program that's excellent, and I think it's working well in the judicial system. The other thing is the accountability courts. I think that Judge Downs should be so proud of herself because she was one of the people that started the drug court system, and I think that that program has just gone excellently. I also think that we need the Veterans Court and the Mental Health Court. The one tweak, though, that I would say with the Mental Health Court, it is a problem with resources, and they are not equipped to take people with some of the most severe mental illnesses, and we need to make sure that we're not being able to service a part of our community and help them because there are effects that are going to impacts of not being able to serve that population. And so if there was anything I think that needs to be tweaked of all the accountability courts, it would be more resources for the mental health court.
Any final thoughts you want to share with the viewing audience?
I would just say that I'm an attorney, you're an attorney, and so we're every day involved in this judicial process. But they should know that they also have a voice, that their voice needs to be heard, and that we want to see people involved with the criminal justice system because there are parts that are working and there are parts that we need to pay attention to so that we can make sure we get it right. There is no job that is more important than that of the judge sitting in that courtroom. They will impact thousands of lives. We see that judges that don't get to their work, it creates a backlog and a distrust of the citizens, and we don't want to have that. And judges that get to their work, they bring closure for the community and the victims and the defendant. And so my final thoughts are just to pay attention to your judicial system and participate in it.
Well, I know firsthand about your work ethic, not only from seeing you in action at law school, but also practicing with and against you in my practice as an attorney every day. So thank you for all that you do and for serving our community and getting out and speaking with our children. We're very glad to have you on the show today, and certainly want to remind everyone that judicial elections are coming up on July 24th, everyone should get out to vote. Thank you again, Ms. Willis.
Thank you for having me. It's been a wonderful program, and I hope that people are paying attention.
We'll be right back with our D5 Spotlight. Stay with us. Welcome back to District Dialogues. In our D5 Spotlight, we give recognition to organizations and individuals who are striving to empower our communities and our county. Our next guest is Mr. Richard Campbell, the inventor and author of To Soil Less. Welcome to the show, Mr. Campbell.
Thanks for having me on the show today, Commissioner Harrington.
I guess first off, what is To Soil Less?
So To Soil Less is the name of the company I created to bring geological agriculture to the world. Now then that begs the question, what is geological agriculture? So it's really about geological agriculture. To Soil is just the name of a company. Geological agriculture is the study of growing plants and rocks without soil and fertilizers, permanently indoors or outdoors, in a nutshell.
So can the plants grow to be healthy without soil and rocks and water alone?
So so my family's been doing this for about 25 years since we accidentally discovered it in 1993. And we have figured out that river rock or sedimentary rock is capable of supporting plant life. You put a seed in sedimentary rock, configure the way we say configured in this book, River Stones Grow Plants, and you will have a mature plant growing in that river rock.
So, wait a minute, I'm confused. Why are we just now hearing about this? I mean...
Well, the scientists of yesteryear studied rocks in the soil. You know, a long time ago, pre-modern science, the soil agriculture world was run by geologists. The definition of soil is crushed rock and humus. It was given to soil by a geologist. In the 1930s, some scientists from Virginia and Russia, ironically, concluded that soil was different than the rock next to it, and that the rock next to it couldn't produce plant life. And so rocks that are land-based rock, igneous and metamorphic, were then determined incapable of supporting plant life, and all of society moved to using soil only, which we were using since humanity began, but then no one ever looked at rocks from the water. We found out by accident 25 years ago.
Wow. I guess it makes sense that if you have sedimentary rocks, that those sediments that have grown into or on the rocks would be sustainable for plant life. What are some of the benefits of geological agriculture?
Well, with geological agriculture, you don't need soil and fertilizer, one of the key ingredients that's costly. It reduces your weeding costs, reduces your watering costs because of the way it's designed and set up. You can grow a variety of plant types to full term. You can use it indoor and outdoors, which means that you can garden 24/7, 365 indoors. We also allow you to do winter gardening so that you can have nutrition during the winter. So there are a variety. Also, it lasts a lifetime. So once you set it up at your home, inside or out, and you know how to manage it well, which we kind of lay it out in the book River Stones Grow Plants, you're able to manage your family's nutrition for the long term.
And so we're looking at doing a pilot program for geological agriculture in District 5 here in Fulton County. What are you hoping to achieve with this?
Well, what we want to achieve is to inform the population that the river rock and sedimentary rock around them that they can buy at their local hardware stores like Ace Hardware can produce plants for you and their families for a lifetime, and that the plants are nutritious, and that you now can have other alternative means to provide your family with nutrition and foods that you like. And so we're trying to basically make people aware that the rocks of the earth do more than you know.
Well, I love it. It sounds like you're teaching people a new way to fish and not just providing them fish. I hope that this will work to help us with our food desert problem here in Fulton County.
Precisely, and that metaphor, the way we apply it is we will teach you how to fish and provide you a pond that you can fish from for a lifetime. And once you understand how to use river rock, you're able to do just that. You can grow your food for a lifetime using the rock that you purchased once. So this is somewhat like a permanent pond of food.
I love it. It's taking advantage of your natural resources, right?
Precisely.
And putting them to work. Where can people find your book? How can people contact you?
Well, our website is To Soil Less. That's TOSOILLESS. To Soil Less. That's also on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. You can order the book there, Riverstones Grow Plants. Here's how it looks. You can also get it at Barnes & Nobles or on Amazon. It's $40 at Barnes & Nobles on Amazon. You read it, you will know what to do, or a $20 download on our website, tosoilless.com.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm excited about this pilot program, and I look forward to seeing great things from geological agriculture and To Soil Less.
Thank you for having us in Fulton County.
Stay with us, everyone. We have a special guest in our art segment. We look forward to seeing you. As the proud executive sponsor of arts and culture in Fulton County, I serve also as the vice chair of the Atlanta Fulton County Recreation Authority and a member of the Arts Commission for the National Association of Counties, or NACO. So as you can imagine, I like to share with the audience about the arts and culture organizations and programs in Fulton County. Today, please meet Justin Clay, founder of Music from the Heart, Fine Arts Music School. Welcome to the show, Justin.
Thank you for having us, Mr. Arrington.
So tell us, how did you get involved in music?
Well, it started some time back. I was a proud student of DeKalb County school systems. I started out, my father was a church musician, and then later on I went to an elementary school called Allgood Elementary, and I had a teacher that kind of took me under her tutelage and allowed me to play. Her name was Miss Love. And then as I graduated from high school, which was Redan High School, I was chosen to do the school song for the graduating class. And then from that point, I went on to be a teacher in Fulton County school system, and I used music as a tool to educate students with special needs.
Awesome. So when did you know that you wanted to, well, what instrument or instruments do you play, and when did you know that you wanted to start a school?
Gosh, the instruments, I'm a pianist. I play for the African American Philharmonic Orchestra under the direction of Mr. John Peake. I decided to start a school when I was a teacher at Evelyn C. West Elementary School in Fulton County, and I saw that there was a cutback in the music program, and so as a call to action, I decided to start a music school that is adjacent to the school that I used to teach at. So I was trying to serve the community that I taught in.
Well, it sounds like you get a lot of great joy from helping others and teaching others.
I do.
Tell us about how you teach others and the joy that you get from it.
Well, you know, I teach, the age ranges are all the way from 3 to 90. So I get to experience several different generations. Music is also a pivotal point of me when I perform. I perform at different community events that bring people together. We were chosen for Pianos for Peace, which is an art display around the city, painted pianos. We were chosen and we became sponsors 2 years ago. So we were the proud recipients of the piano in the airport, in the atrium of the airport. So that was one of our pride and joys. But the music is something, a tool that brings all of us together.
Well, I know everyone loves music, but we certainly appreciate the work that you're doing with Pianos for Peace and also with your music school. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us, maybe about the Philharmonic Orchestra?
Yeah, the African American Philharmonic Orchestra is a jazz orchestra that is celebrating 30 years of music, jazz music in the Atlanta community under Mr. Peake. And we are so proud to be partners with the Philharmonic Orchestra. Mr. Peake, who started it 30 years ago, talks about how he started out with Ray Charles on Auburn Avenue and tells all these great stories of the music and the legacy of Atlanta. So the African American Philharmonic has been very impactful in the community.
Well, thank you for the work that you do, teaching others the language of music,
Yes.
And teaching them how to do music. And thank you for your work in serving the community. It's a pleasure to have you here with us today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Arrington.
All right. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Just our music school is Music from the Heart.
Music from the Heart. Is there a website?
Yes, there is musicfth.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today, Mr. Clay.
Thank you so much for having us.
When we come back, our motivational moment segment. Stay with us. As we conclude today's show, we would like to receive words of inspiration and motivation from Gwendolyn Mason of the Stewart Foundation. And if you haven't checked out their annual White Linen Affair, you need to make sure you do.
Oftentimes, life's most difficult struggles are not due to outside forces, but internal forces that holds one to stagnation versus making the changes necessary to prevent the struggle. Let the truth be told, it is not what others are doing or have done. It's truly about what you are doing and willing to change about yourself. Change begins within, and within isn't anyone else but you. What is the difference between a young man that recognizes he has an alcohol problem and admits himself into an Alcoholics Anonymous program from the one who recognizes he has the problem and does nothing about it? The difference yields the latter a lifetime of heartache, pain, embarrassment, emotional unrest, negative physical implication, and lost relationships. The secrets we keep have a way of clawing its way to the surface. However, the one who has the courage to transform pursues a life of greatness. The magnitude of courage it takes for an individual to step outside of him or herself and conduct a full assessment of the changes mandatory to escalate to the next level, for many, is easier said than done. Being true to yourself requires honesty and action of yourself. Finger pointing has its place. However, it will not help you achieve your greatness and live in your purpose. To blame an individual is often pointless because the only individual one truly has control over is him or herself. What are you going to do to change? Most importantly, will you take the action to do it? Will you say no to that temptation that's driving you down a path of destruction? Perhaps it is a desire to consume food that prevent you from reaching your healthy weight goal, laziness in obtaining that degree or certification you have put off for years, continuance of dating a married person, or stealing from the job. Whatever your vice may be, know it is not too late to change. However, the change must start now. Time waits on no one. It keeps going whether you want it to or not. Finding bravery, discovering strength in the midst of an internal battle requires due diligence, focus, and a sincere love for self. Judging yourself is loving yourself. Yes, you have been wonderfully and masterfully created. So anything that leaves you from operating as such must be removed. You deserve to live your most remarkable you. And sometimes, in order to do that, you must shave the excess weight of transgression. Step outside of yourself and conduct your self-assessment. Take a good, strong look, not a physical look, but a look at your soul. Be true, be real, be honest, and sincerely judge yourself. If you do so, then no one else can judge you. Once that's done, jump back in and transform. Turn away, make a 180-degree switch from that issue. Leave it behind. Yes, this does take courage, but you can do it. By doing so, you will realize that remarkable you. To learn more about the Stewart Foundation and more inspiration, please join us at our annual White Linen Affair. Please visit us at www.thestuartfoundation.com.
Thank you, Gwendolyn. As we conclude our show today, I'd like to invite you to stay connected with my office. You can reach us by phone, email, website, and through our social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks for watching District Dialogues. We'll see you next time.